Hi guys, welcome back. I'll be honest, the last few weeks have been quite rough. So my form seems to have dropped off. I've been feeling a bit flat. Zwift downgraded me, and from A cat to B cat, and even my YouTube subs seem to have kind of stalled at the moment. But this is not about me feeling sorry for myself. This is about the bounce back. So this week I've decided to stop forcing it, reset, have a bit of fun, and then kind of have a bit of a rebuild properly. So you may remember this, where I used AI and ChatGPT to kind of give me a bit of a program on how to get fitter and stronger. Well, kind of work and life got in the way, and I deviated from that, and I kind of went back to my racing as much as I could throughout the week. And I've had some mixed performances. I've had some outstanding ones, and then a lot of kind of mediocre bottom end ones. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at how this week's gone and how I'm going to change it. So Monday was a non-riding day for me. I took it as a bit of a day of rest because I did race on Sunday. But I do stream the Army Cycling E-Race series on behalf of the committee, and I try to stream all 4 races at the same time, and I kind of bounce between them. And what it does do is it lets me kind of still feel involved even though I'm not racing, and maybe give a little bit back. But I do enjoy it, and it's a great series to be involved in. I'm just unfortunate that I'm not going to be racing this one, but I will race the one after Christmas. So that was Monday. Tuesday then, ZRL. So this one was on London Loop Reverse, and it was a tough one. But this was probably my breakout performance of the week. I managed to stay with the front group. I managed to pull back some time on the climbs. I descended like I don't think I've ever descended before, and had possibly the one kind of shining light of the week, I could say. At this point of the race, I really didn't think I would have anything left in the tank, but like I say, I somehow managed to pull it off and grit my teeth. But these ZRL races take it out of you more than you kind of know, and I think this has got to be the highlight race of the week that you do. Everything else just don't expect to be as good. And I managed to bridge back on and set up a pretty good sprint here with a couple of teammates. My teammate James won the stage with a bit of a breakaway with one other rider. Myself and Ed sprinted to 3rd and 4th, which overall is a fantastic team performance, and as a team we won the stage. So like I say, I think this was kind of the highlight of the week for me. So Wednesday then, I took Wednesday as a rest day. I didn't do anything. I didn't do any stretching or nothing. I didn't particularly sleep very well on Tuesday night after such a hard effort in the ZRL race. My legs were pulsing for a lot of the night, and I just felt a bit exhausted. So sometimes you just got to take a day, and I took Wednesday as that day. So Thursday was meant to be a little bit of fun. So I had been dying to do the Brompton race, but I was just really lacking in motivation that week. And someone had suggested on Discord, have you got any tweed? And do you know what? I've got a tweed jacket. So I thought, why not have a bit of fun with this? And why not jump on and try and do the race in a tweed jacket? It was fun, I got to admit. It was definitely different. The field wasn't massive. It was the advanced category, and it's a Thursday, so it tends to be a bit of a wasteland. But there was only 10 of us, but there was some really ridiculously strong riders in there, and there was times where I think we were pushing Bromptons to faster than Bromptons has ever ridden, and I was definitely sweating out a little bit by the end of it. But the garage was like 5 degrees or something, so maybe the tweed jacket kept me a little bit warmer than expected. And if there's one thing I didn't expect to be doing was taking a Brompton to a sprint. But again, I think the lack of motivation and what I did on Tuesday night on ZRL kind of took it out of my legs a little bit. And I went a little bit too early on this. And I jokingly said, I think the jacket lost me 50 watts. But I just got swamped on the line by everyone. But you can see there, I've got a massive smile on my face. And I think that's all that kind of mattered on there. And I did try to pull a move off early. It just didn't work out. And I've just got to remember sometimes that Zwifting is fun, and this was a fun race to be part of. So Friday then. Friday has become one of my favourite races, but probably for the wrong reasons. Friday is the Zeal Japan race. Tends to be relatively flat. But the A category, advanced category on this is another level. And I'll say now, it's the fastest non-Z racing race of the week. But I really do enjoy it because some big hitters turn up and you know you're going to get a really good workout. Now this is on red zone repeats, so it is nigh on pan flat. And this set off like an absolute bat out of hell. My heart rate was up quite quickly. But you can see the group of in the 80s, and I'm just kind of dangling on here in the 60s, just trying to hold on. But I'm doing well above 4 watts per kilo for majority of this, and pushing it harder than I'd like to have pushed it, and really struggling. And I think it was at this point I kind of realised that the week was catching up on me a little bit. And 10 minutes in, it didn't ease at all. So if you look at it, I'm at a 347 watt average for 10 minutes, and I am visibly grimacing at times here, and it's not an enjoyable place to be because it does feel like somebody has completely turned the draft off. Even though I'm in the pack here, I'm still having to push above 300 watts just to stay with them. And then eventually, at about the 15-minute mark, I just couldn't hold on anymore. The pace was just too high for me. Heart rate was in the 180s, and the group just rode away from me into the sunset. Not a nice feeling, but I've got to remember I've kind of had a bit of a tough week, both motivationally and kind of physically. So I think the ZRL burnt me out. I only done the Brompton race like 15 hours before this, and it was still pretty quick, the Brompton race. I ended up kind of chasing on a couple of little packs, and I sat on this rider's wheel. So when I was dropped, I was like 64th, 65th or something. So I managed to gain a couple of places back, and I sat on this rider's wheel until I attacked. And he didn't bother chasing me for 60th place. I don't think he was bothered by it, which was fair play. But you can still say with a 320 odd watt average, it was a fast paced race, and to finish 60th out of 80 odd riders was really soul destroying. But when I see like Martin there's coming in 3rd place, he normally wins this and he's an A+ rider, so if he's struggling to win these races, then I know how fast and how hard it is. And I think this was the turning point for the week for me, the thing that kind of changed my mindset.
So Saturday then, I decided to take a little bit of advice from the team. A lot of people in the team were saying I probably just need to jump on and do a little bit more Zone 2. So in this case, I thought what better to do than a bit of Zone 2 on Tuesday's team time trial route for ZRL. So what the limit is 32k, and I was determined to keep it at Zone 2. But I was just going to kind of look at a few things on the route, whether it be the escalators that go up, or how to pace the climbs, the 2 Manhattan Bridge climbs. So I was just kind of looking at that, really trying to maintain and be as disciplined as possible throughout this, and trying to keep it in the blue for as much as I could. Even on these inclines, I was just kind of changing the gears down just to make sure that I kept it in there, and I just spun my legs for a good period of time. So it's going to be quite a tricky TT route to pace this, because it does have a few more ups and downs than it looked like on paper, and it's just all about making sure that I know the route, and it's kind of learning these escalator bits as well, because they do help you up there, but there's a thing the other day from Zwift Insider showing that the heavier the weight, the more it slows you down going up there. So I'll have to look into that. But as we approach the kind of end of it then, I did put a few extra watts down going up this incline here, just seated watts, but it was the only time I kind of went above zone 2. It was just to kind of get the ride over and done with as quick as possible. But the team gave me a good bit of advice, and I think it's definitely something I need to take forward moving on to Sunday's session. And the great thing now is I've got a recon video that I can produce, so that'll keep my motivation going a little bit more, and I can write some recon notes for the team for Tuesday. So getting my head back in the game as well as my body.
So Sunday comes round, and I had planned a strength session with a little zone 2, but my competitive nature in me wouldn't let this one go, and I had planned already to do the TMP Take No Prisoners crit, and actually I picked this route, so I kind of felt obliged that I needed to race it. It's on Glasgow Crit Circuit, Glasgow Crit 6, which is one of the new ones, so it'll be 6 times up the Clyde Kicker. I do like this route, which is one of the reasons I did kind of want to race it as well. But I'll be honest, from the start, I am on empty. Right, I could feel it the minute we started, and I don't quit a race normally, so I just kind of wanted to fight through, and see how I get on. And even the first lap, I was kind of feeling it from the start. Good numbers though, so 96 riders in there. It's a mass category start, and it's on every single Sunday. So a little plug for the team, if you can, just please join. I'll put a link in the video description below. We're trying to get to 500 members, so we can kind of hit one of the Zwift criteria for in-game club kit. So please join if you can. This is, like I say, 5:45 every Sunday, different route, but it is just a full gas crit race, and it's great. It is great. Not when you're on empty though. So I was feeling this way more than I should have. And there is some strong riders in here, some strong riders from TMP, some really good strong riders from the tribe in here as well, and everyone's kind of giving it all. But that's kind of 2 times up the thing done. We'll skip forward to the last lap. Somehow I've managed to hold on for all 5 laps so far, and I'm in the 6th lap. And actually, at this point, I thought I was just going to drop back and just cruise in. But I do like going up the Clyde Kicker, so I do one last push up the Clyde Kicker, and now I'm dead. Heart rate's in the 185s, and I know I've got absolutely nothing left in me. And this is probably me listening to my head and not listening to my body in this one. And as we come round, the sprint kind of starts a little bit earlier for me than I'd like, and I found myself a little bit too far back, and it's just no good. But a new route completed. Well, that's it. That's the week over, guys. Quick recap then. So I've raced 4 times this week, and each one of them has been really intense. I've had a couple of rest days, and I've had a zone 2 day. So probably still a little bit too intense than what it should be. But I've seen my ZRS and my Velo score take a hit this week. But I've got to remember that I still did have a massive standout performance for me on Tuesday on ZRL. And moving forward, I'm just going to target ZRL as my main race of the week. And then if I can, I will do 1 at a push, if not 2 races. And the rest of the time, It's going to be a couple of zone 2s, a bit of strength training, and actually a bit of rest because I need to start listening to my body. So I was supposed to have a ladder race on Thursday, but because I'm going to do this rebuild, and we had 6 people available, and it's a 5v5, I decided to sit out of this one, and I'll probably be back next week, hopefully, numbers and schedule dependent, because I have only done one ladder race in the last 6 weeks, and it is killing me because I do love ladder racing. So hopefully I'll be back to that, but my schedule normally it's going to be ZRS on a Tuesday, and then I will do 1, maybe 2 more races, depending on which one I kind of look at. But I think the Zeal Race is always a fun one on a Friday, which I might do, or the TMP, Taking a Princess Crit, on a Sunday. So they'll be kind of what I target. I might, if there's time, maybe have a look at some of the Z racing, but it's back in New York, and I think we've had enough of that so far. So starting next week then, I will be doing a bit of a rebuild and more of a structured program to kind of give my body time to rest between the big hard efforts, but also look at some strength training to kind of build up some muscles, because I want to make sure that I'm not just rested going into races, I want to be stronger as well. The team around me is getting so much stronger, and I just kind of want to make sure that I'm not left behind, because it's a really good bunch. So I want to kind of stay with them and push on with them. But thanks for watching, and keep an eye out for next week's video, which will have the breakdown of my rebuild. So I am going to be chasing my A-Cat back. Obviously I've got to call it Chasing A or whatever it is. I can't call it the Road to A because that one's already taken, isn't it? So I ideally want to kind of get my A-Cat back before the end of the year, and that's kind of my biggest target now. But follow along, and hopefully I'll achieve it before New Year's Eve. But if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the little bell, and you'll not miss out on any.